It was a weekend to forget for most Nigerian contingents, from kickboxing to boxing, even to football, as the Falconets crashed out of the Under-20 World Cup. Of course, Anthony Joshua got his fair share. And of course, the biggest upset last weekend has to be Kamaru Usman, who lost his losing streak. It was a sad day. And I mean, it's like we said, it's a weekend that we must forget quickly and get back to the drawing board to make sure we get our sport right. On that note, I welcome you to Sport Pizza, where you get the absolute best in the ever-exciting world of sport. My name is Brownson Uwana. Now, let's take a very quick break. When we come back, we'll give you all the details of what you missed and, of course, what to expect this weekend. Don't go away. All right, welcome back. Now, let's take it straight to the thick of the action. My strike partner, Olakunle Philip, joins me at this time. Kunle, good to have you at the program today.
Yeah, thank you very much, Brownson. It's always a pleasure to be here to talk sports. And, you know, like you said, the weekend was full of mixed feelings.
We must forget that quickly. We must forget that weekend.
A very sad one from Anthony Joshua to Kamaru, Usman, and also the Falconets, against all expectations, really let us down. But then my weekend was also not a bad one for Arsenal. They were in imperial form against Bournemouth. I think that with the way things are going, it looks like Arsenal are going to contest for the EPL this season.
As a matter of fact, if the EPL was a 3-game journey,
yeah,
Arsenal would have won the league.
I wish.
Arsenal would have won the league by now. Yeah. But of course, like I always tell you, Kunle, EPL or the league is always a marathon.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
I mean, we have to treat with caution.
Yeah, we have to treat the part of caution. And let's not forget, the last time Arsenal won 3 games on the bounce, this back to 18 years ago. That was in 2004, 2005. During
season,
the
yes.
Yeah.
Arsene Wenger.
Arsene
Wenger is not a star.
That was a mistake. You know,
don't let Arsenal fans, don't let Man U fans come on you.
No, not taking anything away. Sir Alex Ferguson, for me, any day, anytime, like I always say, remains the best coach ever when you talk about opinion. You know, yes, when you talk about the greatest ever coaches, from my own perspective, yeah. Probably Conte or Jose Mourinho, or you know, all these new generation coaches, yeah, can't be compared with Sir Alex Ferguson, because during the time of Sir Alex Ferguson, he has just about, you know, but for Manchester United, he will just get about 3 top 4 signings, and the rest he brings in some other players, and you see Manchester United winning the league. You remember, I think at the point in time, they won the league almost about 4 to 5 times on a bounce. So I think that Sir Alex Ferguson still remains the best. But
let me also remind you. Let me also
to Arsene Wenger anytime.
All right.
He did a lot of
even though my memory cannot recount the last time Wenger won title before his retirement. But I also have to tell you,
I think it was in 2004. Was it 2004? Yeah.
I know what I'm saying anyway. I knew it was 2004, but I mean, a child of 2004 to the time Wenger retired would have started playing football.
But what do you say about it still doesn't take out the fact that Arsenal has won 13 EPL titles. It's there in the back. So I think for you know, teams like smaller teams, yeah, apologies to Chelsea.
So before I go to the my lineup for today, now you said, I mean, Ferguson is the greatest coach of all time.
Absolutely.
Now you didn't. For me, I feel you didn't give respect to the new generation coach. Don't forget that in this dispensation, we have a coach who dominated Europe for hat-trick time.
Jose Mourinho.
No, not Jose Mourinho. I said who dominated Europe, who won the European Champions League 3 times to the bounce. Zinedine Zidane.
Yeah.
Not even the best of all time did that. So
not
just to tell you that the new generational coaches are also doing the job well.
They are doing their job, but you can't compare. You know, Sir Alex Ferguson has over, I think, almost 30 trophies at his disposal. And when you take all of those things into consideration, but in terms of silverware and the way it transformed Manchester United, you really have to give it to Sir Alex Ferguson.
All right, Kule, you know I always have a way to what to tell you, but you also...
I'm happy you didn't even bring Jose Mourinho into the picture. I think I'm not talking about Mourinho.
You also have to consider the amount of years that Ferguson spent as a manager, and this new generational coaches.
He has won. He usually win at least a silverware every season.
In his first 5 years as a manager, what did he win?
Yeah, he didn't win. I think he didn't win.
So that settles it anyway.
No, that's
all right. Let's come back and talk about the Falconets. For me, put up a very good show on the group stage of the Under-20 World Cup. They came up in style, first, second, third game against all odds, even against the strongest of the women. Of course, they put up a good show, but it wasn't good enough. And I was sad that at the knockout stage where it mattered the most, they just couldn't get the job done, and they crashed out of the tournament, really.
Yeah, I had my reservations when the team won 3 games on the bounce, and he made that one of the 2 teams that got they secured the 9 maximum points, and coming up against the Netherlands in the quarterfinal, a team that amassed, I think they amassed 7 points or thereabout, defeated Ghana by 4 goals to 1 in the last game. I felt that the coach would have studied Netherlands. It's not as if they're all that spectacular, but tactically the team has it going for them. And one of the challenges I always have with Nigerian coaches, yes, Christopher Danjuma did very well with the team by getting as far as the quarterfinal. But when it mattered most, they always let us down. That's one of the challenges. It looks like the foreign coaches are always far above them, more intelligent than them, because the coach of the Dutch Under-20 team has studied the Falconets a lot, and they discover that they don't usually take their chances. The defense of Netherlands, where they are their best, silencing players like Oyenezede and the other lady flourished, and they were simply anonymous. They were shooting into the air, they were shooting up, and we talked about it last week that they lacked the cutting edge in the third half of the field, and that really worked against us. Yes, the referee also, I felt that the 95th minute penalty, I think after the game, after the regulation time, the added time, we had a penalty call, and it went to check the VAR. I don't know how some of these referee thinks and reasons.
But that wouldn't have changed
that
anything.
Wouldn't have changed. Probably, yes, we would have gotten a goal. The scoreline would have been a bit more respectable, because when you look at the performance, the Falconet dominated play. I felt very bad. It was hurting, because when you dominate play from the beginning, from the start they were attacking, but our defense really let us down when it mattered. So I think that it's always been the same old story. When remember even the days or the time the Eagles played the AFCON, the Eagles played 3 games, 1 on the bounce, and when it mattered, they let us down. So I think we really have to come back, go back to the drawing board. Yes, the positives as far as the tournament is concerned is that we've been able to discover some good players, young players
that can graduate into the Super Falcons.
I think some of them should just go straight, because we have some players in the Super Falcons that are already aging. I think that these girls can actually fit in. By the time we begin to integrate them at this time, it will give us a better Super Falcons in the nearest future. All
right, that's what it is for the Super Falcons. It was for the Falconets. It was a very sad moment, and I stayed up late to watch the game, and after the first goal, I was beginning to have some doubts, but these things happen in sport. But we must pick ourselves up and get back on our feet. But let's wait and see the next tournament, how those girls will progress. I think the next stage for them is to graduate. For some of them, that the coach would consider worthy to get to the Super Falcons and, of course, make their mark. Now, also, some other Nigerian players or athletes who didn't do very well over the weekend. That's last weekend. It was a sad moment to see in the mixed martial arts. You want to say one of the most dominating factor in the welterweight division. Talking about Kamaru Usman. When that kick came in, Kule, he was trying to dodge a blow, and then one hand was up when it was going this way. What follows was the kick, and then it fell flat. I knew that was over, and when the count was, in fact, before the count was over, the opponent was already celebrating.
Yeah, I thought the Nigerian nightmare was absolutely unbeatable. I felt that it was going to be difficult for Leon Edwards to get past him because against all expectation, I didn't see that coming at all. But, you know, when you talk about sports, anything can actually happen. But for Kamaru Usman, I felt that he dominated. It was a bout that he dominated from the second round till the moment he was knocked out. Probably if he had been able to hold on. And then he opened up guard. He got tired at some point, and then he began to open his face up, and that was what Edward capitalized on. And that knock, I think that's one good thing about UFC, the matter of kickboxing. I think that, you know, he saw that Kamaru Usman was quite tired, and he just needed, what he needed to do was to knock him out. Though it was even, I would say, it was quite lucky, because that was just a kick, and Kamaru Usman fell down. Some other boxers, fighter would have gone straight to Kamaru and probably hit him more, but I think Kamaru was just down. He was just owed to tiredness, and I think that he did very well. It wasn't a bad one. Anything, like he said after the bout, that yes, sometimes champions lose a bout, but it's going to come back stronger any day, anytime. Once, if this bout is rescheduled again, I think Kamaru Usman, the Nigerian Nightmare, will get the job done against Edwards. All
right, just to let you know that there's going to be a rematch. He's going to revoke his rematch clause as far as that is concerned, as the title holder is entitled to a rematch. But question is if Kamaru Usman can really pick himself up and, of course, get that all-important victory. Now, from one to the other, now Anthony Joshua had it a different way last weekend. Was a very sad moment in that one. And for me, it wasn't about the fact that Anthony Joshua lost that bout. It was about the fact that in my opinion, I think it took the shine away from Alexandra Usyk after that decision was made. Now, when it comes to the unanimous decision, it could go either way. That's why it's always advisable when you have the chance, knock your opponents out right there in the ring. Now, Anthony Joshua felt he had more point than Usyk, but of course, the judges saw otherwise. And for me, I feel Anthony Joshua, coming back to the ring, the way you disrespected the title, throwing it down and coming back, took the mic away and went on and on, even though he ended up congratulating Usyk. But I felt as a professional, maybe someone should have saved him from himself.
Yeah, Bronson, remember back then when, during the time, I think in the 90s, Iron Mike Tyson against Evander Holyfield. When you lose bouts in quick succession like that, there's this way you feel. I remember Tyson trying to fight on the ring, trying to beat anybody up. You know, it's emotional. It's something that some people find it difficult to actually fathom. You lost the first one. You were the heavyweight champion, boxing champion of the world at some point. You lost the first bout. Now you have a chance. You had a rematch. And you had the second chance to reclaim your title, and there you had losing. He gave his best, but his best wasn't good enough. Yes, Usyk deserves the victory. He gave it his best, and he dominated the bout, I think, from the second round, even from the beginning after the very end. You know, Anthony Joshua played second fiddle to him almost all through. And I think he just got emotional. He felt it was, I really have to blame his coaching crew, because I think they gave him the belief that he was leading Usyk, which for me was very wrong. And the umpires, the officials were absolutely spot on with their decision. He has lost it, and like we know, he's going to go back before he can actually even get to fight Usyk. I think it's really going to take him some years. A very sad one.
Very sad one. And for me, I really don't see the chance of him fighting Usyk again, because I mean there's no other rematch.
Yeah, Usyk even came out to say he doesn't even want. He wants to fight Tyson Fury. That's the only person that he wants to fight at this time.
So it looks most likely we are going to be seeing another unification soon.
Absolutely.
All right, that's for the lead. All right, Anthony Joshua. I mean, these things happen in sports. You win some, you lose some, but I mean, he has to pick himself up. And let's see what happens, what next for him. But of course, he needs to go back the line and fight his way back to the title. Now, let's talk about the NFF election. Is just around the corner. And of course, there have been lots of contenders for this one. Now, Ibrahim Gusau is one of the guys vying for the position of the Nigerian Football Federation president. We also have Sheyi Akinwumi, Shehu Diko, the league management company CEO, I want to say director, whichever way, but he's the number one man in the league management company that runs the Nigerian Professional Football League. Now you also have Musa Amadu Haba Yola, of course. We have Christian Emirua, Benedict Akwegu. I mean, for all those that watch football in the early 90s, that name should sound very familiar. And of course, we also have Peter Said Ida. Now, Kule, if you look at this list, lots of names. Now, for me, my concern really is the fact that if you look at Cameroon and some African countries, you look at Cameroon, Ivory Coast, and some other African countries, we see ex-international taking over their NFF and I mean their football federation, and we see how they're running it. But in this part of the world, it seems like we have more politicians running our football rather than people that understand or that have played these leather games.
Yeah, I think the Cameroonians, like you mentioned, did the needful. They wanted Samuel Eto'o. Samuel Eto'o is the biggest ever player to ever come out of Cameroon, and the president also supported his ambition. And right now, look at what is happening, the transition, the progress in Cameroonian football. For the Ivorians, Didier Drogba competed, but he couldn't win because of the politics. You know, the way it's obtainable in Africa, you have to do some certain things before you can actually, get to that position. And then I'm really very happy for ex-internationals like Benedict Akwegu. Yes, he's quite popular.
Even though he's not your favorite.
Yes, he's not my favorite. He was one of the strikers for the Super Eagles back in the 90s. And also Peter Saidida, the former Super Eagles goalkeeper. I think Peter Saidida, if you ask me, is vastly experienced. And you watch, I've seen him a couple of times talk about the happenings in Nigerian football and the manner in which he talks. And I think he's got that intelligence in terms of his experience. As far as that is concerned, is what I don't really know. But the real contenders, Brownson, if you ask me, is Gusau. We also have Shehu Diko. Gusau was the chairman of chairman under Amadi Pinnick, and he's been there for 8 years. Sheyi Akinwumi is the first vice president.
And he's been there for how many years?
He's been there for 8 years as
and
well.
Then
Shehu Diko, the league management company. If some people really have to, when you look at performances, I think someone like Shehu Diko, his favorite is so many people's favorite. But I think that when you are as good as your last result, if you take into cognizance what Shehu Diko has done with our league. Our league has been dwindling for I think even before he took over, but it became even more terrible since Shehu Diko took over. So I think such a person with his last record should not even compete at all. But that's what we get to see in Nigeria. If he happens to be Amadi Pinnick's favorite, and also the chairman of the federations are going to be the ones to vote. So I think they're going to vote for the candidate of their choice. And let's not forget, Brownson is the one that's got the highest. You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, it's true. We understand Nigerian politics. His highest bidder. That's why the likes of Benedict Akwegu and Peter Saidida has limited chances.
Really stand a
because
chance.
It doesn't look like they have that financial muscle to sort them way or their way.
Let's not forget, there's this speculation. Daniel Amokachi came out, I think last week, that he feels that Pinnick is just trying to play some kind of games that is intentional. Someone also said that as well, that the way he's going about it is still trying to pursue the third-term agenda. So we wait to see how things will actually pan out. But Brownson, the person that Pinnick chooses probably is candidate of all the candidates might likely win the election. All
right, let's see how well that goes and how well that will help develop our football. Now let's move straight to Europe. Last weekend we saw clash of titans. Now for all those that are still doubting the pedigree of Newcastle United, you need to have a rethink, because they put up a very fine show in front of their home crowd. And of course they were 3-1 up, but of course lost all important 2 goals and the game ended. Now Kule, this game is very important. I have to bring it up because when we talk about high spenders, Newcastle have showed that they've got financial muscle. And it was a clash of the big boys, the money bags, and it ended 3-3. Now, there's a statement, in my opinion. Newcastle have showed that they've got the stars, they can spend more in January, and most likely they can compete for the top 4.
Yeah, they can. They have what it takes. And I was discussing with Johnny this morning. We said, looking at how Newcastle were able to secure the services on some top players. It was difficult at some point because when you bring in different players from different club sides to a club, they might struggle at some time, but subsequently, when they begin to gel, they're going to be absolutely unstoppable. And that's exactly what we're seeing with Newcastle right now. It's happening with Nottingham Forest as we speak. Nottingham Forest are spending right now. They're almost a third as far as the number of the teams have had the highest spendings.
They've signed the most players.
They've signed the most players, and from the look of things, by the time the team begins to gel, they are going to be absolutely unstoppable. And looking at the way the top teams they are faring right now, I'm scared, Brownson, at some point, some of these top teams might drop in the pecking order. So I think for Newcastle United, they are doing absolutely well. Look at the way they played against the defending champion of the league like they don't even care. They are not even bothered about the Aris of Stars, the likes of Kevin De Bruyne. So, though Kevin De Bruyne was the savior of the team because it was imperial in the heart of the midfield.
Yes, it's brilliant.
For the team. So I think that with the way things are going, they lost this game because I think they lack that experience. Because when you are 3-1 up and you are playing against Manchester City, you really have to be defensively cautious. But they really chew their foot off the gas pedal in that game. I think in subsequent games, they are going to believe, they're going to have that belief that they have what it takes to take on the other contenders in the league.
As for these, and there was a big day for some clubs also in Europe, but of course, time, this is not a review program anyway, so we don't have to look at what went down over the weekend. But let's also talk about the fact that Manchester United have also secured the services of Casemiro from Real Madrid. Meanwhile, just for some stats, Casemiro is a 5-time Champions League winner. Now, you know what that means. Now, also, if you look at Manchester United's pedigree in the last 10 years, United has been known for bringing in top players and turn them to ordinary players. Is that what what are they going to turn Casemiro into?
With Casemiro, I think it's going to bring his experience to full. I think that the Manchester United board are beginning to listen to their teaming fans by bringing in some quality players. Casemiro is a quality player, though you might say probably age is not on the side, but looking at the way some top teams are securing the services of some old players right now, it's not a Spain force. It's got the quality, and I think that is really going to do well with Manchester United. It's going to solve some of the problems that we've talked about that Manchester United seems to be struggling with. I think it's the dawn of a new era. In few games, you're going to be seeing a rejuvenated Manchester United. I think that when that happens, we can pick it up from there.
All right, I'll remind you guys when that happens. But until now, before now, we've always known that United brings top players and turned them to ordinary. Pogba was world class before he came to Manchester United. He was turned to an ordinary player. As a matter of fact,
you never liked Pogba.
You're distracting me. You're distracting me.
You were always condemning Pogba. You even question Manchester United. The reason why they have to bring him to
was he not turned to an ordinary player?
Brownson, you thought that you were always of the opinion
2 seasons ago
that Pogba is an average player.
Now, now Pogba is gone. Let's talk about Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes was brought in as a top-class player.
Absolutely.
In his few games, he won a couple of games. Now he's turned to an ordinary player.
It's not the fault of anyone. I think it has to be the fault of Bruno Fernandes.
Now,
Bruno.
I'm not done.
No. Bruno was in top form. It was in the form of his life last season, and even 2 seasons ago. And then 2 seasons ago, I think when he came on,
it wasn't on top form of his life last season.
No, last season it was a bit consistent, and there was a bit.
His transition process was completed. His transition process from a world class player to an ordinary player was completed last season.
Bruno was not a world class player when he came in from the Portuguese league.
All right.
When he came to Manchester United,
Cristiano Ronaldo came into Manchester United on the second coming as a world class player.
Brownson.
Has his transformational process not been completed to an ordinary player now?
Cristiano Ronaldo is still playing well. He's still getting in the goals. He's still a world class player.
How many has he got this season?
No. This season I just started. How many days has a Manchester United played this season?
Oh my God!
I disagree with you, Brown. I disagree with you. You are one of those that doesn't like for Pogba. When Pogba was with Manchester, you are always the one you criticize him.
I just
even when he plays well.
Okay.
It's going to be difficult. I wish that we meet even Chelsea at this time. Chelsea are dwindling. You saw the way they were dispatched by this United. Just bring on any team. Bring on any team.
Okay.
I think we're going to take them to the cleaners.
Anyway, for Manchester United, promo continues. 3 points all for grab. Now, that's my final whistle on the program today. Thank you so much for being a part of it. Now, don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms currently displaying on your screen right now. Now, special thank you to all those that have been sending us messages on our email. I will read those messages. It makes us feel real good, but want to read more from you. So keep those messages coming. Now, also go to our YouTube channel, it's Sport Pizza. Don't forget to subscribe. It is absolutely free to watch all our content. Now, our social media platform is buzzing. I take that again because, lots of conversations. This conversation we are having now, we are going to take it to our social media platform on Facebook, especially. So, you can like our page, it's Sport Pizza. Let's get the conversation online. My name is Brownson Uwana. Thank you so much for watching. Let's do it again next week.